Today we have the privilege of welcoming President Janet Napolitano to Sacred Heart School's Atherton community. President Napolitano earned a Bachelor of Science degree, summa cum laude, in political science in 1979 from Santa Clara University, where she was Phi Beta Kappa, a Truman Scholar, and the university's first female valedictorian. She received her law degree in 1983 from the University of Virginia School of Law. She practiced at the law firm of Lewis and Roca in Phoenix, where she became a partner in 1989. She began her career in 1983 as a clerk for Judge Mary M. Schroeder of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. She served as Secretary of Homeland Security from 2009 to 2013, as Governor of Arizona from 2003 to 2009, as Attorney General of Arizona from 1998 to 2003, and as U.S. Attorney for the District of Arizona from 1993 to 1997. Before that, as Governor of Arizona, Ms. Napolitano focused on education from pre-kindergarten through public higher education. She was the first woman to chair the National Governors Association and was named one of the nation's top 5 governors by Times Magazine.
President Napolitano holds honorary degrees from several universities and colleges, including Emory University, Pomona College, and Northeastern University. In 2010, she was awarded the prestigious Thomas Jefferson Foundation Medal for Law, the University of Virginia's highest external honor. She currently serves as the president of the University of California system to lead 10 campuses, 5 medical centers, 3 affiliated national laboratories, and a statewide agriculture and natural resources program. President Napolitano is a distinguished public servant with a record of leading large, complex organizations at the federal and state levels. We are honored to have President Napolitano here today, so please join us in giving her a warm Sacred Heart welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for the intro. Now you know everything about my life. Good morning, Gators. I assume you call yourself Gators. Actually, I have no understand why you would call yourself Gators. Why someone on, there aren't any native to this area, by the way, just so you know. There aren't any golden bears around Berkeley either, so or banana slugs in Santa Cruz, so I don't know what goes on here in California. I'm very pleased to be with you today. I'm here at the invitation of Karen Felice, who has told me much about the school and the great things that the students here do and accomplish. She's lucky to have you as students. Quite frankly, I think you're lucky to have her. And I think as a longtime friend, you're very lucky to have her. We go back to our days at Santa Clara. Anybody here thinking about going to Santa Clara, maybe? All right, go Broncos. Santa Clara did not have a Greek system when we attended there, fraternities, sororities, etc. So Karen and I and a group of friends formed our own sorority, the Sisters of Sigma Chow. Think about it. Based on the principles of fine eating. The initiation ceremony consisted of driving up to San Francisco and eating hot fudge sundaes at Ghirardelli Square, so it wasn't all that painful. I'm going to take questions at the end of this, so think of questions. If the pregnant pause is too long, I'm just going to call on somebody, and it will be a senior, just so you know. Where are they? Okay, where are the seniors? Excellent. Now, don't worry, I'll find you. I was the Secretary of Homeland Security, after all. All right. So, in preparing for today, there were a couple of things that impressed me about Sacred Heart Prep. One of them is the fantastic rate at which your graduates go on to college. I'm told it's nearly 100%. That's phenomenal. Congratulations. Give it up. But I suspect for some of you, going to college is not a choice, it's an expectation. And from my perspective as the president of the University of California, the best public university in the world, that expectation is not necessarily true for all young Californians. And in fact, here's an interesting factoid. Almost half of the students at the University of California come from homes where neither parent attended college. They are first-generation college students, the first in their families to have the chance to earn a college degree. So I want you to hold them in mind as I mention the second thing that I found inspirational about Sacred Heart. And that is the values that Sacred Heart Prep works to bestow on you as its students. It goes back to the 19th century origins of this school and the founding of the Society of the Sacred Heart. Key among these, and I quote, is, quote, to educate students towards a social awareness that impels to action. Let me repeat, social awareness that impels to action. And that's really what I want to speak with you about today. There's a concept in public life called the Commonwealth. I don't know whether you've heard of it. It's a value, really, and it's grounded on a shared belief that all of us must play a role in supporting the society in which we live. It is the opposite of the attitude of, I got mine, you go get yours. It's the opposite of the belief that you're on your own. When the University of California and many of the great institutions of California were given shape, this state was a monument to the concept of a commonwealth. Californians didn't complain, or complain too much, that their contributions to the state budget, that's another way for saying taxes, were being used in part to underwrite the college education of children, and children who were most likely strangers to them. But they did it for the good of the state as a whole, for the good of its future, for its commonwealth. Public libraries, public hospitals, public parks also worked in the same vein. In fact, our great system of parks in California, which has helped preserve the amazing beauty of the state, was really founded so that everyone had the opportunity to enjoy and experience being in the out of doors, and to do so pretty much for free. That was then. This is now. Today, students at the University of California, at Cal State University, at other public universities are asked to pay more for their educations than the amount put in by the state. They do it through tuition. Now, we have a really robust financial aid program at UC. Half of our in-state residents come from families that the income is less than $8,000, so they pay no tuition. But nonetheless, for those who are paying tuition, the bill keeps going up. And that's because what was once a public good, part of the Commonwealth, is not receiving and no longer receives the kind of state support it had in the past. True for other institutions. If you go to a state park, you have to now pay a fee. Even the concept of a freeway is being refashioned, so that instead of freeways, we're now thinking about toll roads. You pay to go. This didn't happen overnight, this shift, but it nonetheless is happening now. So what does it all have to do with you? I know some of you are here on scholarship, but for many of you, the question is not how much your family must spend to send you to college, But which among the elite colleges do you intend to go to? And that's great. That's great. But what comes after graduation day from those colleges and universities? The reality is, as all generations before you, you will inherit the leadership of this state. That's why you're being educated. And it will be your state to shape, and it will be your values as citizens that come to bear on your California. There aren't any islands in California, by the way. The pieces fit together. University Avenue may take you to the heart of Palo Alto, but to get there, you have to go through East Palo Alto. And if you live with only a gated community perspective on the world, you really run the risk of being insulated and isolated yourself. So today, I'd like to inspire you and reinforce what I know are your instincts, especially as students here at SHP. Your instincts are toward a better alternative, about social awareness that impels to action. You know, whether folks invent internet companies or run the Tesla warehouse or work as attorneys, as I once did, or entrepreneurs, there's a tendency for people to talk about what they do, where they went to school, what credentials they have, who they know, and how much they make. Now, I'm not to denigrate any of that. It's great. But I'm here to plant a seed, a notion that when you look back on your life, the question motivating you will not be, how much did I make? The question will be, did I make a difference? Did I make a difference? And I think we have a great opportunity to make a difference in California. You have that opportunity. The technologies that have sprung up from the startup campuses around you, from around the campus, have created a world much more connected than anything that I grew up in, or your parents, your grandparents, more than any generation ever dreamed possible. It's so connected by technology. They make it easier to understand the world, to communicate across the world, to pinpoint the opportunities for engagement with the world. So when I think of social media, I think of the root that the word social shares with the word society. And technology is a tool to help you, to help us make a difference. You'll have to find your own way. You'll have to find your own way. I chose public service because it's my passion. Others choose to spend talents on the professions like medicine because they want to ease human suffering. Or they choose to become scientists because they want to understand the physical world and the ways in which we can become better stewards of our planet. Others, like Sacred Heart's very own St. Madeleine and Sophie Barat, chose to become educators so they can teach and nurture future generations. Making a difference is not like eating your peas or broccoli or whatever vegetable you dislike. Broccoli is my personal dislike. But making a difference requires dedication and it requires hard work. It can add up to something great. It can make a real change in people's lives and for the better. So I would like to think that your generation, when you look back 50 years or so from now, will be seen as the generation of Californians who said no more. No more toll roads when we can have freeways. No more rising fees for our state parks. No more treatment of a university education like it's a private good, available only to those of privilege and those who can afford it. A California where the notion of a private beach garners serious concerted attention can become a California that shakes off what we're in right now and re-embraces the idea that we are in this together, and re-embrace the idea that we move forward together as a society, as a commonwealth. You can make that California. And I want you to be thinking about what it is you're going to do to make that happen. You don't start from scratch. This is a state of well-intended people with a long history of opportunity. Most people come to California because it beckons at opportunity. But it won't happen on its own. It will happen because individuals take up the cause of building the next great California Commonwealth. I think that's what your teachers here are trying to instill in you when they raise the vital idea of social awareness. But the impelling to action part, it was part of the original thinking of the values underlying SHP, impelling to action, that's on you. We can't act for you. You have to act and with your own initiative, with your own energy. And I'm really excited to see what it is that you do. This is an exciting time, a time of opportunity and promise, a time to make a great state a greater state. So, think about that. Think about our Commonwealth, the state we live in together. Think about our great institutions, like the University of California. And I'll just close before we get to questions, but I want to close with the motto of this great university, Fiat Lux, Latin for let there be light. And let's shine the light all around. All right, thank you very much.